Hello, this is Reporter Television, and I am Bethel Mikhail with the news. Russia provided a debt for development scheme for Ethiopia, through which it can service the remaining 162 million USD debt it has incurred during the military regime. According to reports, officials from both sides have agreed in April, allowing Ethiopia to utilize its areas for development projects in the country, but with a precondition of involving Russian companies. Senior officials at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Cooperation of Ethiopia have confirmed the agreement that was reached with Russia, adding that the government is now considering a list of projects in engineering, science, and technology. Quoting the senior official, Johannes Anberber reported that if these projects are approved by Russia counterparts, then the government will invite interested Russian companies to compete. Ethiopia has obtained debt relief worth $6 billion in 2001 under the Highly Indebted Poor Countries Initiative. Out of the stated amount, $4.8 billion was cancelled by the government of Russia. The former Ethiopian President Mengistu Haile was known to be a staunch supporter of Marxist ideology and was one of Russia's staunchest supporters against the Western influences, especially in the Horn of Africa. And this deep relationship helped him to spend millions of dollars trying to suppress rebellion that arose in the northern part of the country against his rule and the neighboring Somalia expansionist movement. Featuring Africa for the globally competitive business opportunities and potentials, a Dubai-based firm has held the 4th Africa Business Forum in Addis Ababa, where the forum is expected to be a regularly held biannual. AfricaBusinessForum.com, a company that has previously organized similar business meetings in Dubai and London, has introduced discussions that are distinctly business-oriented on Wednesday at the Sheraton Addis. During the forum, Rashid Ahmed, founder and director of the AfricaBusinessForum.com, told the reporter that he plans to organize biannual business forums in the country. Ahmed said that he is compelled to organize regular business meetings where top and prominent business persons are expected to be part of. Ahmed also said that Ethiopia is becoming the new business hub of Africa, and he is considering opening an office here soon. The founder and director said based on the growing demand for having presence in Ethiopia and beyond, many Emiratis have requested to have opportunities for business-to-business meetings and establish networks in their counterparts. Brhanu Fekade reported that the business forum has brought together more personalities from the UAE, Kuwait, Turkey, and some from the diplomatic community as well. British Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond, who visited Ethiopia on Wednesday, said on a press release that he is satisfied with the condition of Andargacho Tsege, a British national and Secretary General of Gimbot Sabat, a group labeled as a terrorist organization by the House of People's Representative and is currently under custody in Ethiopia since July 2014. According to the statement dispatched by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office of the UK, Andargacho's case was top on the agenda when the Foreign Secretary visited Ethiopia and held a discussion with the Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn and Foreign Minister Dr. Tedros Adhanom during his one-day visit to Ethiopia. Following the visit, the Foreign Secretary's statement read, "I am satisfied that he is not being ill-treated and that he is receiving regular visits from family members in Ethiopia." The statement also stated that the Foreign Secretary secured assurances from the government of Ethiopia that Andargacho will be granted access to regular legal counsel and visitation from his lawyer. Though the Foreign Secretary was not able to visit Andargacho during his visit, as per his request, a senior Foreign Office official traveling with him was given access to Andargacho in prison. Last year, Hammond was quoted expressing his concern over the case of Andargacho and how it might hamper the long-standing relationship between Ethiopia and UK. In his latest statement, Hammond said Britain does not interfere in the legal systems of other countries any more than we would accept interference in our judicial system. Our consular role is to ensure the well-being and access to legal advice. According to our reporter, Salamon Goshu, Government Communications Affairs Office, Getachew Radda, welcomed the latest shift in attitude from the Foreign Secretary of the UK and argued that it is a result of realization of the actual facts on the ground in Ethiopia. Lawyers for the Ethio-Djibouti Railway Company, the Chemin de Fer Djibouto-Ethiopian, have filed a petition with the Court of Cassation of the Ethiopian Federal Supreme Court, seeking a review of €20 million arbitral award rendered in The Hague for what they call a fundamental error of law. The case against the railway company, which took more than 3 years to complete, arose out of a repair works contract financed by the European Development Fund signed in 2006. According to papers filed with the Court of Cassation of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the three-member panel of arbitrators composed of Professor David Arias of Spain, Professor Eduardo Silva Romario of France, and Professor James Gatti of Kenya rendered a split decision in favor of the contractor. Costa JV with Professor James Gatti of Kenya dissenting and writing separately. While the railway lawyers refrained from commenting the petition, which has become public through filing with the Court of Cassation for review last week, indicates that two arbitrators constituting the majority of the Hague-based tribunal that decided the case misunderstood and misappealed Ethiopian law and rendered a fundamentally erroneous judgment. It also alleges that the Ethiopian party was denied due to process because of pervasive conflict of interest and bias on the part of the majority of the arbitrators. The reporter has learned that the Court of Cassation has just admitted the claim and issued a stay of execution of the award until such time it hears the disputing parties. Court's papers also show that although the case was administered by the Permanent Court of Arbitration, the legal seat of tribunal was Addis Ababa. Kasa Tekle Birhan, Minister of Federal and Pastoralist Development Affairs, underscored the seriousness of the security threats that are posed by illegal arms trade and contraband trade across the borders and deep-rooted human trafficking activities in the country. In his 10-month report to the House of People's Representative, Kasa told MPs that huge amounts of arms are being smuggled into the country and in many directions is already posing a serious security threat to the nation. In a comprehensive national security inventory that the ministry has conducted for the past 10 months, Kasa brought light to some of the unadvertised and publicized security threats to Ethiopia, among which an exacerbated level of cross-border illegal arms trade, which is fueling in various regional and national security threats to the nation. According to Kasa, the challenge starts with the absence of comprehensive and uniform legal framework governing the firearms sector. Similarly, growing contraband trade levels in Ethiopia are also proving to be another source of security problem for Ethiopia, according to the minister. Kasa told MPs that the muscle and tactics that are being used by the contrabandists have grown consistently in the past year. Kasa admitted that human trafficking has not shown any signs of decline, even with the introduction of a nationwide campaign and efforts to curb the challenges. What was more interesting was the analysis of the ministry, which suggested that human trafficking is in fact helping out the various armed groups that are waging war against the nation. Most of these groups gain their power from human traffickers working across Ethiopia and the region. In a grand scale, the report has also covered a number of security shockups that the country went through during the past 10 months. Jonas Abi reported that the primary among these crises were somewhat stretched popular protest and conflict in the Amhara, Oromia, and Gambela regional states. A decisive tip-off led the Ethiopian Revenues and Customs Authority, ERCA, to seize some 20 million birr worth of animal gallstones destined to China, which the authority put up for auction on Thursday. According to sources, until the latest round of measures which the ERCA took to stop the illegal export of animal gallstones from Ethiopia, the smuggling business remained largely in the shadows for many years. Sources also said that the government had no clue as to what the items are worth and where the potential markets are located. According to the same sources, a gram of gallstone pays up to 13 to 15 US dollars at current market prices. Previously, the price was as high as 25 USD per gram, and sources also claim that around 11 kg of gallstones have been recovered from contrabandists exporting the stones from Ethiopia so far. Gabrahiyot Gabrasillase, acting general manager of Bole Customs and Branch Office of ERCA, confirmed to the reporter that there was an auction staged to sell the stated amount of animal gallstones. According to Gabrahiyot, currently there are only 2 legally licensed exporters of animal gallstones from Ethiopia that the ERCA knows about. Birhanu Fekade reported that the suspected contrabandists, including one Chinese national, have been caught red-handed smuggling out gallstones through the DHL and other means, and they are currently under custody awaiting appearance before the court early next month. China is well known for exploiting animal gallstones for the production of traditional medicine and crafting other expensive artifacts. Gallstones are also claimed to be sources of antipyretics and antidotes in some cultures, including China. Finally, sports. The Ethiopian national team, also known as the Walias, will be seeking for the maximum points against Crocodiles of Lesotho in an away match that will be played in Maseru in a Group J Day 5 clash to boost their chance. This will be the first match for the Walias under new coach Gabramedin Haile. Gabramedin has been in charge since May and will lead the Walias in his first assignment against Lesotho national team. Ethiopia came from behind to frustrate Lesotho in a game that ended 2-1, with goals coming from Gatoch Panum and Saladin Said. Algeria leads Group J with 10 points, followed by the Walias, who have collected 5. The Walias' hopes were dealt a huge blow back in March after a 7-1 humiliation by Algeria in Belda, whilst a 3-3 draw in return leg in Addis Ababa finally saw their quest for the group's automatic ticket to go up in flames. With Algeria certain to go through as winners of the group, the 1962 African champions only resort by finishing in second place to be in contention for the 2 slots best runner-ups. Gabramedin has admitted the Walias have a slim chance of reaching Gabon, but will fight until the very end. The coach has dropped 5 players from the provisional squad that will face Lesotho. The notable absentee is St. George striker Saladin, who withdrew from the squad due to a hamstring injury sustained during a build-up game against Premier League outfit Commercial Bank of Ethiopia. Samson Asafa, Addis Tasfaye, Ephraim Wendosen, and Mulalam Mesfin will also play no part in the Lesotho clash. According to our sports reporter Dawit Tolosa, the University of Pretoria forward Getana Kabeda has been appointed as captain of the Ethiopian team. That was all for today. Thank you for watching. For detailed information and exclusive interviews, make sure to visit our website, thereporterethiopia.com.